Alright, welcome to the video on creating the illusion of space. Today we're going to create a floating letter. You can use any letter you want, but you're going to want to start by drawing a block letter. Try to draw pretty lightly. I'm using the letter H because it's the first letter of my name. If you're not good at freehand straight lines, you can use a ruler. Secondly, we're going to add in a horizon line and a vanishing point, and then we'll use that vanishing point to line up our receding lines. Those are the lines that go back towards the horizon line. If we use that vanishing point, all our lines will be correct. Then I draw another horizontal line below the letter. We're going to use this for our cast shadow. Cast shadow is the shadow that this letter would place on the ground if it were kind of in real life. And sometimes we see our own shadows cast on the ground, you know, when the sun is lower in the sky. So think about what shape your letter shadow would be. It would be similar in shape, but what would we see of it? So here I make the two bottom parts of the H, and then I've decided, okay, well, I need to cut off my H because it was going further towards the horizon line, and we wouldn't see the whole shadow, and that wouldn't make very much sense. You can see that I put the cast shadow slightly lower than my block letter, and that's a good idea. Slightly lower and then maybe to the right. All right, next we're gonna add value. Value is just shading in. I'm using more of the side of my pencil than the tip of the pencil. I'm working quite quickly just to apply a little bit of graphite onto my paper so that I can make this very light shadow. I blend with my finger. You can use a tissue or a blending stump if you have it. We like to use in class 1, 2, 3 shading. So that means that we're going to have 3 different values when we're shading. So here I'm adding my second value tone. This is going to be in kind of areas that the light would have a harder time getting to. So underneath things, you can see it's on the under or the bottom part of the H and towards the back. So I'm creating that second tone. Again, blending with my finger, a tissue, or the blending stump. Now is our third. 1, 2, 3. We've got our third and darkest value. This is a harder one because you have to add both more pressure and more layers to create that tone. Here I am, I've created definitely a 1, 2, 3 shading system, but if you really want to go and bring that shadow to the next level, this is optional and only if you have a black pen, but you could also use a black pen to go over that. For me, I really like a really dark shadow for this little drawing because it really stands out. Final touches always are erasing lines, making sure that all your extra lines that you've used for guiding your horizon line, your vanishing point, are all getting erased nice and neatly. And then also I use this time to define any edges that need just a little bit, to be a little bit more clear. Kind of outlining things. I could even go over the top with the black pen on that edge of that H. But I'm just using a pencil today. Use what you've got. Finally, we're going to add in a couple more horizontal lines. We're going to need one towards the top at the right part of our letter, and then another one down below it shouldn't be exactly at the very edge of our letters. It should be slightly above or below to kind of create a notch. Now you're going to cut along that line and cutting off the top section of the paper. I kind of do this in sections. Make sure you get any little notches of your letter cut out. And then you're going to bring it all the way down to that lower line. And that, by cutting that off, makes it look like that letter is floating. And there we have the illusion of space and a floating letter.